One day I will film a video and I will know whether I'm in focus or not. That's the dream really, isn't it? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all good. Today I am filming my version of YouTube Made Me Buy It. I've seen this floating all over YouTube. A couple of my favourites have done it and I really want to do it, mainly because I relate to it on a spiritual level. I'll be straight with you guys. When it comes to seeing things on YouTube, I am a sucker and have been for several years now. My bank account hates me for it and this video is about to show you why. To be honest, while I was going around my bedroom looting the place for things to feature in this video, I could have picked up several hundred things that are in my bedroom. I pretty much take YouTube as gospel. Honestly, I'm an absolute schmuck when it comes to being influenced by YouTube. I've picked a grand total of about 10 things which I distinctly remember buying because I'd been influenced by this here website, and I feel like they're the highlights of a very worryingly vast collection of things, particularly worrying for my bank account. Kicking off with an absolute classic, I am going to start with Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. I think this is potentially one of the first palettes I ever bought, and it was definitely because I'd seen some seriously old school vloggers using it. It's the cool toned palette of the Naked bunch. I've had this for a very long time now, but because I am a ridiculous human and own way more palettes than a human should do, I still haven't hit pan on any of them, so they're pretty considering how little they look, they last a freaking long time. My favourite shades in this one are definitely Chopper, Tease and YDK. You just can't go wrong really, it's super flattering, they're all super wearable shades for both day and night. I am wearing it today, I have got Tease in the crease and YDK all over my lid with a little bit of Tease also smudged underneath. Not that I know anything about makeup, but this is one of those palettes that even a total cat-candid fool like myself can make themselves look fairly decent with, and it's definitely one of my favourite makeup products that I own. Actually, I'd go as far as to say it's in my top 10 ever. The other palette which pretty much changed the way I do makeup and changed the way I think about makeup and changed the way I wear my most common makeup would have to be this one. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. You can kind of see a similar theme with the colours here, and doing things like this makes me feel ridiculous because you look at this and you look at this and someone who's not into makeup would say, what are you doing? They're all the same colour, but it's all very important. There's a lot of shimmers in this one and this one is all matte. It's pretty much every single neutral shade you could possibly ever need in your life. This dreamy selection is my absolute go-to when I don't know what else to put on my face because you literally can't go wrong with it. My favourite sort of quad is this one on the end here with the really warm tone shades, and this one in particular, this peachy nude shade, is quite unusual and I really like it. It's very flattering. Not that I'm a massive makeup expert, but I'd say these are some of the best quality eyeshadows I've ever used. They blend absolutely seamlessly and the texture of them is so beautiful and buttery. I really hate when people say buttery for eyeshadows. Like, why would you ever want to put butter on your eyelids? I can't really think of anything worse. And if nothing else, it's got a very satisfying magnetic close on it. I don't know if you can hear that noise. Oh. So these are potentially two of my favourite makeup purchases of all time, and they were both definitely influenced by YouTube. I wish I could go back in time and see who I saw using these that made me decide that I want to use them. But while we're mentioning Kat Von D, I also have to give a shout out to her tattoo liner, which I would love to know who I'd seen using it because I would thank them from the bottom of my heart, because this is my favourite eyeliner of all time. So while I love that lot, the next thing on the list is something that I'm not actually that in love with, which is annoying because it was freaking expensive. Just give it a clean because it's a bit mucky. How gross. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation, which comes in a very swanky rose gold bottle, looks beautiful, but is not really my cup of tea. Charlotte Tilbury as a brand is something that I think is very kind of aspirational and looks, and as far as I'm concerned, not really in your average person's budget. But I picked this up a while ago thinking that it was going to be my new dream foundation. I'd heard so many positive things about it. I actually did my research, read a lot of reviews, and for some reason thought it sounded right up my street. To be honest, I think I was just swooning over the packaging because it is really beautiful, but I have to admit that it's something I don't reach for very often, and to be honest I tend to save it for filming because it is super duper high coverage. I'm not used to wearing a foundation that is this heavy. I usually wear the L'Oreal True Match, which isn't that heavy a foundation. I would say it's quite a natural medium-ish coverage, whereas I'd say in my world this is more of a high coverage foundation, and I feel like I'm wearing a mask when I wear it. I will say that the lipsticks, the primer, the lip liners that I've used from Charlotte Tilbury have all been absolutely beautiful. I think this just isn't my cup of tea and would definitely be more suited to someone who likes a heavier finish. Would this be an overly hyped product slash YouTube made me buy it video without one of these, or two of these, or three of these, or four of these? Unless you don't know anything about famous people or the internet in general, you will know that these are Kylie Jenner lip kits. This is a prime example of me thinking that a makeup product was going to change my life and my face for the better, and then receiving said product and realising that actually these things have minimal effect on my life. There was so much hype around these that I was convinced they were going to turn me into Kylie herself. However, that isn't the case. I still very much look like this. So while I have to admit that they're not the miracle product that they were first made out to be, I will say that I do absolutely love them. They are quite expensive, and most people tend to get hit with a big fat customs fee, which is what really kind of kicks you in the balls when you buy these. But actually thinking about it, they might even be the lip product that I reach for the most. Particularly Candy K is my absolute favourite. I've also got Dolce K somewhere. It's probably in the bottom of a handbag somewhere. Court K is the one that I will always reach for on a night out. It's not as flawless a formula as the two nude shades. It's quite streaky and quite difficult to get even sometimes, but the shade itself is right up my street and I always reach for it if I'm going on a big night, you know, out with a dark lip. I'm actually eyeing up a couple of the other Kylie lip kit shades at the moment. I really quite fancy Pumpkin, Leo I really like the look of, Exposed, although I think it might make me look like I'm a bit dead. I kind of want them all actually. The only one that I probably wouldn't repurchase is the gloss, which I bought in the shade Literally. I do actually really like it, and when I first got it I wore it to death, but I'm just not really high maintenance enough to be a gloss girl. It annoys me when my hair sticks to my face. It annoys me when things get in the way of me enjoying my food. So me and gloss aren't really the best pairing. Next up is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I have both versions of because I'm a ridiculous human. First of all, I bought Too Faced Better Than Sex original mascara in the pink packaging when I went to America, and I was kind of disappointed with it a little bit to start with because people had been hyping it up so much, and I again thought that it was going to transform my face forever. I got it and realised that it was just a mascara. But actually once it dried up a little bit, which I do tend to find with quite a lot of mascaras actually, it suited my eyelashes much better as a slightly drier formula. My only issue with this was that it smudged quite badly underneath my bottom lashes and made my dark circles look like lunar eclipses. So when this bad boy came out, which is the waterproof version, I thought all my prayers had been answered. But unfortunately, like, neither of them quite hit the nail on the head for me because I prefer the effect that this one gives but hate the smudging, and I love that this one doesn't smudge but don't think it's anywhere near as good as the original. So that's kind of annoying. I wish that they could somehow combine these into one beautiful perfect love child. Still forever on the quest for my dream eyelashes, and they did not come to me with these unfortunately because I was convinced they were going to when I bought them. Oh sigh, life is so hard. First world problems. When I mentioned before that the two eyeshadow palettes would be in my kind of like top 10 makeup products ever, they would be in there alongside this, which is a very well loved, very filthy Mary Luminizer highlighter from the Balm, which looks like this. Champagne-y, golden, nudie, beautiful highlighter of dreams. I've spoken about this a couple of times before. I literally can't fault it. It takes makeup from a steady 7 to a solid 10. It's everything you could ever want and more in a highlighter. I have absolutely no bad things to say about it. I think it's beautiful and flattering, suits a lot of different skin tones, and is just so great. My last makeup item that I have to give a shout out to in this video is a total utter classic. And although this video is YouTube made me buy it, I think technically this should be bloggers made me buy it. It's MAC lipsticks. I've bought a selection of them to illustrate just how much I love them and how I'm just a total sucker for them. Even though there's such kind of more innovative, better, more favoured formulas these days, I just go back to them all the time. They're just a classic. And to show you how bad I am with them, I thought I'd bring some of my most shimmerler shades to show you just how ridiculous this lifelong love really is. Why, Lucy? Why? Actually, they all look quite different. I feel like to a trained eye, they're all very necessary, important shades. I actually put matte lipsticks in because I was watching Jodes' version of this, Just Jodes. Hi Jodes, if you're watching, I will link her below. She's a total babe. And she put Velvet Teddy in hers, and I was like, oh my god, I totally bought Velvet Teddy because everybody was obsessed with Velvet Teddy. So that's this one. I actually have it on today. This one is Fast Play. I didn't even know I had this one, so there you go. I always wanted to be one of those sassy girls that like a boy texts them and is like, yo, send nudes, and then they send a picture of these. But no one on this earth wants my nudes, so there you go. Anyway, I ain't even mad about this. I love them. I feel like even though they'll be like crusty and old and gross, I'll pass these on to my granddaughter one day and she'll be like, ew Nan, why are you giving me these mouldy old lipsticks? When it comes to skincare, there's one brand in particular which I definitely learned about through bloggers and YouTube. I think in particular it was probably the Anna Edit / Viviana Does Makeup, because I used to take her skincare videos as like holy grail, like God's word. She definitely introduced me to Origins. I have picked out 3 of my favourite face masks just to show you. This one is pretty much absolutely dead and buried now, but this is the Drink Up 10-minute mask, which I have replaced with the Drink Up Intensive Overnight Mask. My skin bloody loves this stuff, and it also loves this one, which is also nearly done, and I'm so sad because it's my favourite. This is the Out of Trouble 10-minute mask to rescue problem skin. My skin just absolutely loves Origins, and this stuff, which is the Super Spot Remover, might look small and meek and helpless, but packs a friggin' punch and a half and kills spots in their tracks. It's so good. So shout out to all the genius beauty bloggers with flawless skin that showed me the way of Origins, because it definitely changed my face. And the last thing that I'm going to mention is kind of a weird one. This is a fragrance called Molecule 1 from a brand called Eccentric, I think. And this is very strange stuff. There's kind of like a bit of a myth and a legend around it, and the way it's made and the history of people wearing it, which sounds super weird, but let me explain. So I haven't done my research on this, so I'm pulling memories from the back of my like 2010 head here, but I'm pretty sure that the reason this is called Molecule 1 is that the fragrance itself is made from one molecule in particular, and this stuff developed a weird hype around it a good few years ago now, because people were reporting online that they'd had like strangers coming up to them telling them that they smelled incredible and that they'd fallen in love with them because of their scent, and that they couldn't believe what they were smelling because it was just their perfect fragrance. The legend is that it smells different on every person. So there I was a few years ago thinking, this is incredible. I have to smell this. I'm a sucker for weird stuff, mainly because I too am quite weird. But as you can see, I still haven't even used half of it because it's such a weird smell that I am conscious when I'm wearing it that people must be like, is that you that smells that weird? I have definitely never had anyone coming up to me telling me that they've fallen in love with me because of the way I smell. So can confirm that that doesn't work for everybody. I definitely haven't found my dream man through Molecule 01. I don't dislike the fragrance, I do really like it, and I tend to wear it a lot more in the autumn winter because it's definitely more of a musky, deep, kind of interesting, sensual scent, and I still do actually just find it really interesting. And now that I'm smelling it, it is actually very nice. And let me know in the comments if you've kind of heard anything about it, if you've had it yourself, if you've had any like romantic encounters because of this scent. I would love to know. Cool, so that is everything I have on my list for this one. I could have mentioned a million more things. Honestly, while I was going through my makeup drawers, I was like, well, this, yep, this also, oh, this too, yep, I bought that one because of YouTube, oh, and this, yep, okay. So this could have been a very long video, but I feel like that's probably more than enough for me to reassure you that I'm a total sucker when it comes to YouTube beauty girls. Thanks so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you have bought any of these things because of YouTube, or if by some kind of weird circle of life I've ever made you buy anything with my videos. That would be cool to know. Please do hit the subscribe button if you are new. Come and join the gang. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at LucyJaneWood, and I will see you guys later. Bye!